Straight like that. Straight like that. And I'm just like, there's, when she said that to me, and I kid you not, no one has ever said that to me before. And I have grown up like this. I went to high school and everything. Mind you, I'm already 22, 23 years old. I was like a light bulb like clicked in my head. I was like, light bulb. Oh shit.
But you should have known it. I wasn't going.
Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Renee. As you can see, this video is going to be very vulnerable. This is going to be a long video, so grab your popcorn, get comfy. I'm comfy, I have no shoes, I have my matcha, and I'm gonna go straight right into it. I have had YouTube for over a year. I have over 100 videos, and I've never told this story before. Some of course, like my close friends and family knows, but I have never told this story and described this story, and it is a huge part of my life, a huge reason why I am the way I am today. Of course, that's for everyone. And I think I had to be prepared and ready, and now I'm ready. All right, let me take a sip of my matcha. But here we go. First, this story is going to be my upbringing, what I believed, what me and my family believed, what my family still do believe. When I left, why I left, and where I'm at now. That's the gist of the story. So first, I grew up in a church called the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. It feels so weird to finally admit this and tell the world, because right now, if my family sees this video, they're going to be off the roof like she's a demon, she's evil, she's going to hell, she's blasphemous, all of the above. But I'm finally at a point where it's okay. Like, I'm good and I'm okay with telling the story, and it is what it is. I'm 30 years old now. It's okay. So yes, the church was called the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ. It is located in Baltimore, in the city. They relocated, but the one I grew up in, well, they changed several times. Right now it's still there, but they relocated. It's one on Franklin Street. There is a headquarters in Harlem, New York, and he has several churches all around the world, actually. Okay, so what I believed, okay. We believed very Christian-based, like, okay, we believed very Christian-based. So we believed in God, the Son, hell, heaven, and, you know, the 10 Commandments, stuff like that, right? So we went through the King James Bible. So this is a religious-based cult. This is what makes it a cult. There was a man who called himself the Comforter. And he told us that he went to Jerusalem, and I believe went to a mountain like Moses did, and was told, you know, everything or whatever, that he was supposed to make the congregation and save us, and one day, you know, take us to Jerusalem and save us, and that the only people that were going to be saved were the people, the 144,000, which is going to be the chosen people, but they have to be in this church. So if you are not in this church, in this particular Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ, under the Comforter, which his name was Jermaine Grant. That was his name. You can Google him, whatever. He has passed away, and I do not mean to talk ill of the dead. Whatever, you know, happened to him after his death is whatever happened. I'm just saying my truth and what I know and what happened. So yes, so he told us that he was sent by God. He was the God-sent comforter. So till this day, the people that are still inside of that church call him the God-sent comforter. That's how they speak that's what they say when they speak about him. And right now, since he has passed, they believe that he's gonna resurrect, I believe. So yes, so I grew up believing, so my dad found this church when he was around 21, 22 years old in New York. And so I was born into it. So I believed this my entire life up until age 22, up until probably 23. And, you know, we believed that he was sent by God. So whatever he said goes. So we did read the Bible and other books, the Apocrypha and Amazing Facts and other things like that. And we went with what the Bible said, but he had a very good way of manipulating the Bible. We did not read it. This is not what they're going to agree on, obviously, but looking outside in, we didn't read it for ourselves and what it made sense for ourselves. So he was doing that. And then we believed God was black. We believed all white people were evil. And all people that weren't of Hispanic and black descent were evil. Yes, I did believe that. Don't judge me. Okay, so we also believed in more than one wife. So a lot of the congregation had more than one wife. And we believed that you cannot prevent children, that sex was meant for marriage and to be fruitful and multiply. We believed that. We believed in the Saturday being the Sabbath, because the true seventh day is Saturday. And we believed in Hanukkah. A lot of the holidays are actually described in the Bible, which was the Feast of Lights, which is Hanukkah, the Purim, the Feast of Tabernacles, what is that one that we fast? I'm gonna figure it out. The one that we fast. There's a lot of, you know, high holy days, okay? That is what I believed. That is what I grew up in. And it was in fact a cult. Okay, so a little bit about my upbringing on, you know, being in that cult. I was raised to be a wife. So that's why I'm so wifey right now. Like, I love the fact that I was raised like this. It kind of like, it's a pro and con to it, to be honest. Like, I wish I had more wild, fun, crazy teenage and kid years like I feel like everyone else does. And I feel like I was so weird when I first moved out and I was trying to like find myself because I didn't really know much. But yeah, I was raised to be a wife. I learned how to cook early. I learned how to do hair early. I was waking up for a baby and making bottles and changing his diaper at age 10 and up. Literally from age 10 and up. Because my parents have 12 kids. Remember, we don't believe in preventing kids. And we don't believe in preventing kids. So they have 12 of us. I am the third oldest. So me and my twin, I have a twin sister. We both grew up, I'm just gonna speak for me. I grew up, you know, like that. Feeding kid, like waking up at night, feeding a baby, waking up to change their diaper, waking up to make their bottle, and still having to go to school. I grew up with whoop ass, a can of whoop ass, okay? Not only that my father is a Haitian, we believed in beating, like, you know, it's a scripture that says don't spare the rod or something like that. And so yeah, that's one thing. And we grew up with a lot of studying the Bible. We got to study the Bible. If you weren't studying enough, you were going off, you were being like, you're disobeying. We weren't allowed to go out or hang out with a lot of friends in the world. So if I wanted to go out after school, or if I wanted to sleep over with one of my friends that weren't in the church, they were of the world. So we couldn't really hang out with them. And I had to come straight home from school every day. I was very, very, very much sheltered. I didn't do like the parties and all these things. The only thing that saved me, and when I say saved me, it's not the things that I was doing, it's more so for me to know the world a little bit better, was me skipping school. So I was skipping school. That's why I don't believe in sheltering your kids, okay? Because they're gonna do things anyway. What else? What else? In the church, we had to wear scarves and skirts. We had to do courtships. Oh, I forgot about courtships. I actually like courtships. I think that courting people, even in this day and age, is very appropriate. But you know, everyone is just all wild and out right now. But we did do courtships. So you were pending to be married, okay? So remember, women were only meant to be a wife and a mother. We are only here to serve a man, period. And I remember like being like, I was probably the prettiest girl in the church. It's like, I'm joking. Okay, so we were meant to court and meant to be a wife. So I remember being young and always having men look at me, like I'm talking about from 14 all the way till my proper age. I remember men staring at me, giving me side eyes, because not like evil side eyes, but more like they can't wait till I'm 18 type. You can be betrothed. That was another thing. There was betrothal. So you can literally be 14 and you're betrothed to a 35-year-old or older. And that was basically saying like, that's gonna be your husband when you're 18. Goldie. So that was a thing. And then, did I describe the courtship? So courtship, I forgot how long courtship lasts. I think it matters like when you're 18. So you can court when you're younger than 18, but you can never get married until you are 18. But courting is just, you can't hold hands, you can't kiss, you can't do all of the extra stuff, especially sex, of course. But you're just courting and your parents have to supervise you. So boyfriends were not allowed, and all the kissing and stuff like that were definitely not allowed. If you did that and broke the courtship rule, okay, this is another thing. Okay, I need to drink. I should have got a shot, okay? I don't even drink anymore, but this is a lot to explain. I have never explained this story in public, so please be patient with me, okay? Okay, this is a huge thing, okay? So let's go back to the courtship. You can break the courtship rule if you kiss, and if you hold hands, and of course if you have sex. Now, that was courting, and that's courtship, right? Now, let's go in to one of the other reasons why this is definitely a cult, okay? We had something called counsel. Now, counsel was meant to get anything approved, to get, you know, if you broke a rule or you did something you weren't supposed to, someone told on you, you got in trouble for something, you went to counsel. And like I said, anything approved. So anything you want to get married, you want to start a courtship, you need money, which I don't think they did anything for anyone. You want to buy a house, I don't fucking know. You just went to counsel for every fucking thing. And the counsel was, ay caramba. The counsel is set up by something called apostles. So we had apostles. I think apostles are in the Bible. I think, yes. And it was 12 apostles. So there is apostles in this church, which is the higher ranks. The church went by ranks. So the higher ranks are apostles, and there's 12 of them. But the 3 main apostles were the Comforter and 2 men that were next to him side by side. When you go into the council, there's the Comforter that sits in the middle and the 2 men side by side. And when you go in, there's also bishops and chief priests. So the ranking went like apostle, chief priest, bishop, so on and so on. My father was a chief priest, so he was heavy. Okay, so the council, right? You go in and literally they're sitting 1, 2, 3 at a table. There's chief priest or bishops or whatever, just kind of like in the room, just to be there for whatever the apostles needed, or to record. Maybe they were using a camera to record, or to document what was going on in the council, whatever the case may be, security. And they would just sit there, table in front of them, ready to judge you. Ready to judge you, okay? Until this day, they would say that they are allowed to judge people, because there's something in the Bible that says the saints shall judge the earth. Do you see how manipulating that is? I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone. I honestly want to just stick to my story, so let's just not go there, right? So that was one thing. That was one thing. Another thing is we weren't allowed to have phones in the church. That is so suspicious. I think that their backup to why though we weren't allowed to have phones in the church was because we believed that the world outside of us were evil. Like, obviously, because they're not saved, because they're not in the church, right? But we believe like the government and everything was set up to fail us, like was set up to, we can't show their spies. He was saying that they would be spies. They are trying to bring us down because they know that we're sent to, you know, be delivered, and they don't want us to be, the devil and Satan doesn't want us to be delivered. So they were spies, and they wanted to make sure that the spies don't see the information given out. I don't know. I think that's why we weren't allowed phones, but I think that's the gist of like everything, okay? That's the gist of how I was raised and the whole thing of the cult, I think. Oh, caramba! We had to pay tithes. We had to pay tithes, guys, like every church, right? 10% of all of our income. If my grandmother gave me $20, I need to pay 10%. If I was 10 years old and my grandma gave me $20, because this is what really happened, I have to pay 10%. Oh my God, I remember the last time I did tithes. I had my first taxes come back to me. The first time ever, got my taxes. My kid's dad was locked up. I had nobody. I was trying to get a car. I had no car. I had 2 kids. I was like 22 years old, 21, and I paid $800 to the church. That hurt. That hurt. Anyway, I paid $800 to church, so we had to pay tithes, everything. Then we had to pay, well, my dad, every man had to pay priest fund. And let me call my brother. Let me call my brother. I hope he picks up. Just to let you guys know, I'm the 3rd oldest. Like I said, I have an older sister and an older brother, and we're all 3 out of the church. All 3 of us. So all 3 of us are pretty close. But my brother never answers the phone. He needs to pay his phone bill. Oh, let me.
What's up?
When you were in the Hebrew Academy and stuff, and you had to pay for stuff, what was it exactly? You said, was it the priest fund?
Shit, man. Those days are way behind me. I forgot. Priest fund? Yeah, all that kind of shit. Yeah.
Like, what were they pestering you to pay for? Was it the academy or just the priest fund for like?
I think the priest fund was the academy fund. I can't remember really.
But the men had to pay a lot more. I know that. And they had to pay priest fund, and they had an academy. So they had an academy for just the men to get programmed into being ranked. They are going through like Bible school to learn how to teach to us at Sabbaths and at churches and stuff. They're going through the academy to be security, you know, because all the church is really ran by us, by the congregation. And these are the people that he's like sculpting to run the church. So we had an academy. And so the men had to pay priest fund. I don't know how much they had to pay, but they were paying a lot of freaking money. Then we had a donation bucket that went around. Hella fucking money. My dad never not paid. He paid everything in the book and then some. Because my dad was very, very heavy, is very, very heavy in the church. So, and I get it. I get that the love that you have for God, you're thinking like, I'm gonna give everything that I have. Like, God gives me everything that I have. I'll give everything back, you know, like, trust me, I get the concept of it. It's just that, God, it's just so sad. It's just, you're giving it to people that didn't need it, and they're manipulating you and stealing your money. But we're not there yet. So yeah, they were paying for garments. So we had to wear, the men specifically had to wear garments. I know a lot of people right now don't know. I'm gonna put up a clip. I'm gonna put up a picture or something. But we had to wear garments like that. And I was gonna say a lot of like people from Baltimore or Harlem would know. They've seen men in garments walking around the street or whatever. Comment below if you know. But we had to wear that. Let me tell you, those garments were like hundreds of dollars for one garment, and you needed a garment every year. I believe you needed a new garment every year. So imagine just like how much money you're spending, and you're poor, like you're broke. Most of us is not fucking rich in that church. We're minorities, like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that every minority, but we were not rich, and we were spending so much money. Like, my dad was spending so much money. He has 12 kids living off housing and food stamps, and he's spending hundreds of dollars a freaking week, I think, for the church. So that's just another thing. I literally can't believe I'm finally telling this story. They're gonna think I'm so evil. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty. I feel like I have to pet something. Okay, my friend bought me this. I love her. Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty. Nitty gritty titty. All right, so this is when let me get up closer. Up close and personal. Hi. Okay, so this is when I'm looking at this part, but I need to look in the camera. Okay. This is when I realized everything, right? Also, okay, oh my God, I forgot to say, we like, while we're home and we miss the Sabbath, or even if we didn't miss the Sabbath, because women, when we got our period, it was called unclean. You were unclean and you were not allowed to enter into the temple, the church. So we had to stay home from Sabbath, right? We would have to watch DVDs. So this is another tactic, I feel. No, I don't feel. This was another tactic. He made DVDs, the Comforter. He made DVDs of him speaking and teaching, and we would watch those DVDs, and he would sell these DVDs every year on Passover. So we would celebrate the Passover, which was God's real birth date. Or was it about his passing? I forgot. But we would, so in the Passover, we did this kind of, from what it looks like to me now that I'm looking at it, a ritual. We would drink wine that represents his blood. We would eat lamb that represents his flesh. And we would eat a bitter herb that represents all of the affliction either he went through on the cross or we went through as slaves. And he would sell all his merchandise, all of his DVDs, his new DVDs. It was like the talk of the Passover. Like, I can't wait to get the new DVDs the Comforter made, because it was just like this big thing. Like, oh my God, he got more breakdowns and more scriptures and more insight, more news, more like, you know how like, I'm trying to explain, like, you know how like somebody is very, very smart. Okay, Abraham Lincoln, God, I'm an Abraham Lincoln. Albert Einstein, right? You know how he was a genius? Imagine everyone that followed his work because he was such a genius. Oh my gosh, Albert Einstein came out with a new article. Let's see what he found out now. It was like that. It was like his new DVDs were like, let's see what new breakdowns it is now. I can't wait. And those cost like, I think 20 a CD. A CD, to burn something on a CD costs like $1 or less, especially back then. Anyway, so that was something. He would sell t-shirts, posters of him, all this shit, bro. And what else? So yeah, so what was I trying to say? I don't even know what I was trying to say. So he would do that and sell all his merchandise on Passover. Oh, this is what I was saying. So we would watch DVDs. That was one of the tactics. So that now looking back, it was something so that it's repetitive. It's always in our head. Everything he is teaching, nothing else. Everything he is teaching is always programmed into our brain. So we would watch Apostle DVDs.
Selling drugs in a gang, doing whatever. That's when God appeared to you and said, follow me. And what changed your life is that you believed that that was God that came to you. However he came.
Or you can always Google it. Always Google Apostle Tazadakia or the God Sent Comforter, ICGJC breakdowns, whatever. I'm sure it's on YouTube. When I was 22, 23 years old, I was starting to question a lot. It all started when the Comforter started to say that all the churches are going to have to start looking at me and my teachings on the Sabbath day live. So all the churches were doing their own thing with their own chief priests chief priests and bishops teaching us every Sabbath day. We would have to be in church every single Saturday unless you're unclean, from sunrise to sundown. So we'll be at church, well, not sunrise, but we'll be at church from 8 a.m. to like sometimes 8 p.m., but 6, 7 p.m. every Sunday, no fail. And then Friday, because we believe the day was sundown to sundown, sundown, whatever. So we would be there Friday nights as well till like 11 p.m., then go back to church and stay there. Okay, that was a thing. So yeah, so the comforter, Tazadakia, Jermaine Grant, decided to make sure all the churches were plugged in on a big screen TV in the church with him teaching live every Saturday. This is when, around the time I decided, or not decided, but I started questioning things. I gotta go to work soon. Okay. So this is what made me I was already questioning things kind of like growing up, but my first started questioning was when me and, I'm gonna go back to the live TV. But I first really started questioning when me and my sisters and my friends were in a dance group in the church, because we would do dance groups, performances. We'll do a lot of stuff in that church. It was a whole community. And we would do dance groups and stuff. And my mom, it was a mandatory practice. And my mom was like one of the only ones that lived in Silver Spring instead of Baltimore. So we would have to drive an hour to go to the practice. And one day I seen her like exhausted. I mean, she has to drive an hour. She has 12 kids. She already did so much today. And I'm just like, Mom, like, let's just miss practice today. It's okay. Like, and she's like, no, it's mandatory. The Holy God Sent Comforter said. And I remember thinking like, what the fuck? Like, and this was when I was younger, you know? This is my younger years questioning things. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, she's tired as fuck. Like, are y'all gonna give her gas money? Are y'all gonna, like, why does it have to be so mandatory? It's just dance. And, you know, I just hated to see my mother tired like that and having to go. Like, you have to go? Like, what the, that was just weird. I used to question the tithes because they were so broke and they gave so much money. And I think that's about it with what I was questioning when I was younger. So let's go back to the live. And I'm so sorry if I'm all over the place. So the live TV. So I remember this sister. So in the church, and I'm not doing this because honestly, I do believe all of us are connected as brothers and sisters spiritually. But we called each other brothers and sisters in the church. So we'll say, this brother said this sister said this. So the sister got up to ask a question. So he'll have like a segment with people getting up to ask questions about what he's teaching. And I remember the sister getting up to ask a question. And her question was so like regular, like, and then he was just like, the comforter, he was like, what type of question is that? Girl, go sit down, or something like that. And I was just like thinking in my head, like, why do you have to talk to her like that? Why do you have to, like, he was just so hostile to me, like, just so like, he's all that, and he did not give godly energy. You are sent by God, the one and only God. Why are you so hostile? First of all, if it's a dumb question to you, that's because you know everything, right? You have all the secrets. Of course it will be dumb to you. But what does every teacher say? There's no dumb question. Because she doesn't know. It's a question. That one day made me like, it made my skin crawl. Because I'm such a nice, literally, I'm one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. I did not like that. I don't care if you were sent by God. I don't care who you're saying. I don't like you talking to people like that, especially when it doesn't make sense. She is not you. And then it just doesn't make sense, because if you do know everything, why are you getting so like amped up and rude? If you know everything, you'll be at peace with any and everything. Like, that just made no sense to me. I didn't like it. That was the first shift with me around that time. And this is the time I was like 22, 23, like I said. That was the first shift. So what was the other one? This time was really hard for me to be leaving as well, because one day my mom came home and she was like, it's time, we're going to Jerusalem. It's time, because she had just came from a conference, or what do they call it? Whatever. He used to have these big speaking engagements where he would invite everyone out from all the states to see him teach about something, some big news that he found out. And my mother came home and she was like, this is it, Sephra, like, we're about to go, like, God is really coming, like, we're about to go to Jerusalem now. This was when I was 22. This was fucking, I'm 29 now. Like, I'm 29 now. How many years ago that was? No comment. But I was really scared. I was really scared. I really still believed in everything, but I think for the most part I was scared is because I was already starting to question, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Now we're going to Jerusalem? Like, I didn't know what to do. I was really stressed out. Okay, so this was my other shift, right? This was my other shift. Okay. My older sister is a lesbian, full-blown lesbian. I love her to death. She's the best person in my life right now. She's my forever ride or die. So she came home because she was living with us for a little bit. She was living with us for a little bit around that time, and she came home because she just got into a relationship with a girl she really liked. Like, she was falling in love with her, and she was like, she heard what my mom said, and she's like, Sephra, I don't know what to do. Like, I think she was drinking this day, and she started throwing everything on the floor and on the walls, and she was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm gonna go to hell. Like, why does life have to be this way? I don't know why life has to be this way. She was throwing everything because, like, she was scared of the reality that God is coming, and she was damned to go to hell, because obviously they didn't believe in same-sex and stuff like that. And I just seen so, and mind you, I'm in the church and I believe in these things, but when I seen my sister really fighting about her identity and what she, like, her soul, like, fighting her soul, bro, like, she was really fighting, like, what can she do about her liking girls? And she really loved this girl, and she was like, I don't know what to do. Why does life have to be this way? And she was throwing everything all over the floor, and I just stopped and I just hugged her. And I could cry right now. I remember this day, and I just hugged her because I just was, like, thinking, like, why does life have to be this way? What the fuck? Like, she is the most caring, loving, I mean, the most, like, you guys, I said I'm the nicest person in the world. My sister is the nicest person in the world. Like, she would never hurt a soul. Like, and I was just like, that took me back. Like, it just, something in me just took me back. And me always believing in, you know, the same sex isn't, you know, what is supposed to be. I still always loved my sister. I didn't care what I just, looking back now, it's just like, I still didn't care. I loved her so much that I could never judge her that way, to say you're gonna go to hell if you don't change. I just never thought to judge her that way. I just loved her. So it was always in me. It was just always in me to just be my own, follow my heart. But that day, I think, is what moved me, right? It's just what really moved me, looking back now. So fast forward to when I decided to leave. My sister took me to a party, and I met a female, and I really liked her. And I started talking to her on the phone, and it just got really real fast. And I remember one day I was over her house, and I was fighting with her, like, telling her everything I believed in. I was just like, the comforter, and this is what's gonna happen, and we're the chosen people of God, and God is really black, and we have to go to Jerusalem. And I was just like telling her like that, because I'm just like, fuck, like, I can't like you, like, this is real, like, life is real, like, we really about to, like, go to Jerusalem, and we're really gonna go to hell and all this shit. And And she looks at me and she was, okay. She looks at me, right? And she says, Zephyr, you're in a cult.
Zephyr, you're in a cult.
Straight like that. Straight like that. And I'm just like, there's, when she said that to me, and I kid you not, no one has ever said that to me before. And I have grown up like this. I went to high school and everything. Mind you, I'm already 22, 23 years old. I already have 2 kids. Like, right after high school, I mean, not right after high school. Even in high school, I would talk to my friends like this. And now looking back at it, I see that they would look at me funny and they wouldn't say anything, but no one has ever said this to me. And when she said that to me, when she said, Zephyr, you're in a cult, I was speechless. Like, I was like a light bulb, like, clicked in my head. I was like, light bulb. Oh, shit. Fuck, I am in a cult. I was just like, okay, oh my God, this is another thing. This was another thing. And I'm, like I said, I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth, right? The time when I was questioning everything, around the time I was questioning everything, I had went to my father's room for something and I was talking to him about something and he had something playing on the TV. And I think they were talking about, hold on. Okay, hold on. I have to look it up real quick. Okay, I'm gonna put his name on here to show you, but I think it was the Jonestown thing where this cult leader led his congregation to Africa. And he told them, if you drink this drink, we're gonna all meet in heaven. And his whole congregation, even kids, women, kids, everyone drank it and they all died, right?
This man forced more than 900 people to take their own lives. This is the story of the Jonestown Massacre. Back in the 1970s, Jim Jones was a charismatic religious leader who gained fame in the United States for performing miraculous healings. He led a communist religious group, but when the CIA began investigating, Jones moved his followers to a remote area in Guyana, 1,000 people who were completely controlled by Jones through religious manipulation.
My dad told me that. He was just telling me, like, this is the cult, blah, blah, blah. And when he said that to me, I was shook. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I've never heard of anything like that before. Honestly, this is probably the first time I even heard of a cult. And when he told me that, I kid you not, I looked at ourself. I looked at our life. And I said, if the Comforter told us to do that, we would do it. And that scared me. That genuinely scared me, that thought. Because I was like, it's scary that he has this much control on us as well. So thank God for that day that he even gave me that thought. Because it was true. It's true. We would have all drank it. We would have all fucking drank it. Just like that cult leader did. He brainwashed his whole congregation. So that was a rewind. So back to when I found out. I was like, light bulb. Like, I think all my hairs were standing up. I was speechless. And I had this bad gut feeling, like that sick feeling in your gut. And that's when I decided I'm not going back. And this was like around the time when he said that he was doing the live videos of him in the church, because everything was kind of like starting to get more amped up. He was like amplifying everything up and saying we're all going to Jerusalem soon. And they were saying that if you miss a Sabbath or you miss 2 Sabbaths, you have to go to council or you might get kicked out. So this was like around the time where jeopardy was really at stake. I was taking a really big leap of faith there. And I was so scared. At that time, when I decided not to go back, I did decide, and this is me admitting to this part of me not talking to my family. But we're gonna go all the way to why, like what things are like now. and this is for anyone that sees it in my family or whatever, I'm saying literally the truth. I'm saying every single thing I know that's true. I'm not lying about anything. And I would never lie about anything. I don't need clout. I don't need to lie. I don't want to lie to anyone. I don't feel the need to lie to anyone. This is literally my truth and how I perceived everything and how I felt truly, because I have never told my family or explained to them why I left and what I was feeling or anything. So whether they see this or not, this is the truth. When I left, I decided to not talk to my family for that moment of time, only because I was so scared that they were going to pull me back in, and I knew not to go back. I just knew not to go back. Something told me, don't go back. And I remember one day, my kid's father, because at this time we were broken up for a little bit and we were co-parenting, and I remember he came to me and I was distraught. I forgot what I was saying, but I was like going through it. This time of my life when I left, I was going through it. I was so depressed. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I felt like any day now I'm gonna get struck by lightning or something. Like any day now I'm gonna die and go to hell. It was almost the worst time of my life. And I was just so afraid. And I remember him literally taking me by the arms and shaking me like, Sephra, leave that church. Don't go back. I mean, for someone to have to physically take you and tell you that and really like shake you and say that, it's big. Like, it's big. Like, for someone to really tell you, like, you need to leave. Like, no one is gonna do that for like no petty reason. And so that was just another reason why I knew not to go back. And I knew that I was too timid and afraid that if I talked to them, they would have talked me into it, because I was too scared. They would have said, Sephra, like, you're going off. Like, you are gonna go to hell if you don't come back, or quote me a scripture or whatever the case may be. And I just wasn't ready for it. I had to shun them out for a minute. And it wasn't because I didn't love them or I didn't agree with them or any of that. It was because of me. I needed that space. I needed that time. I was too afraid. I didn't talk to friends. I had friends, best friends, that I went to the church with. I just left one of my best friends' wedding, and I was the maid of honor. I had close friends, and I didn't speak to them either. And just to let anyone know, because I haven't spoken to anyone ever since. It was never personal. It wasn't because I was against anyone, I was mad at anyone, or I talked shit about anyone. I never did. It was just, I really needed that time and space apart. I had to figure all this shit out. I had to figure my life out. Like, what the fuck? I was in a cult. This entire time, my whole life, it was based on a lie. I was lied to. I was manipulated by this random man from Harlem that just wanted money. My whole life depended on this man. My whole life I was looking up to this man to save me. Who was gonna save me? Who is God? What is what? What is right and what is wrong? I didn't know nothing. I was just so shunned and afraid. And it was like I woken up out of a cave. I always tell people when I tell this story, it's like I woken up out of a cave. I had to know life again. And that's why I didn't talk to them for that moment of time. So I just want to say, it has been 6 or 7 years now since I have left. There was a time in my life, years after this, where I was going through a lot. I think this was probably a year or two after I left. And I was going through a lot in my life. I was in a shelter. I didn't have any money, so on and so on. One of my family members went back to the church, and this person wasn't in the church for a minute, so we were really close. And they went back to the church. And I remember one time while I was in the shelter, that person allowed a gateway for me to talk to my other siblings, because that person just went back to the church. And I loved it because I missed a lot of my siblings. And I remember that day I was like, let me just tell my family what I know. And there's something that I know that happened that was very wrong that the comforter did. And I decided to text 3 members of my family, 3 like adults of my family, not my siblings, and tell them exactly what I know that he did. Not one of them texted me back. Not one. They didn't even say I was wrong or that I was lying or I don't think you should think this because blah, blah, blah. They didn't say anything at all. And then after that, that family member that went back and my other siblings never talked to me. And I would reach out or say anything and I was just blasphemous and I was evil and I was the devil and I was the demon, and that's what it was. And we did not talk for 5 years. That is what happened. So I think till this day they would say, you're a liar. I don't know why they call me a liar. I don't know what I lied about, what I do lie about. They'll defend what he did, but if you're gonna defend what he did, why are you mad at me? Why don't you just say that from the jump? Why didn't you just say, but Sephra, I think you're viewing it wrong. This, and that. Give me a breakdown, give me a scripture, explain a situation to me. Maybe you can change my mind. But how am I supposed to know if you just shun me out and then call me a liar? How am I supposed to know anything? And this thing that he did was very wrong. No one would ever, let me tell you what he did. He molested somebody. The comforter. He molested somebody. He told this person to strip naked, took this person to a hotel room, all that. This person was a minor. I just always wanted to know why you thought that that was okay. If it was your wife or your daughter or even you, why you would think it was okay. I don't really care about all the other shit. If you explained it to me, maybe I would change my mind. How would you not know that? But you can't just not talk to me. But all they ever do is not talk to me. They just run away. They don't want to talk about it. And then they call me a liar. But why don't you call me a liar in front of my face? Call me a liar in front of my face. Tell me why. We can talk about it. Why can't we talk about it? Never. And in my opinion, it's because you're scared. Deep down, you know I'm right. It was wrong. Period. I didn't mean this video to be a little hostile, but that's just like mind-boggling. I mean, the things I found out, I didn't even get to the things that I found out. The things that I found out after I left, this year took so much. These years when I left, 6-7 years ago, was such a process. At first, I was just seeing how everyone was connected. That was the first thing the universe was showing me. Like, so many people believed in God. So many people had crosses on their necklace. So many people were good, kind people. I mean, all ethnicities, all religions. And I'm just like, damn, like, we're all really connected. Why am I judging fucking everybody? What the fuck? And then I started going on YouTube. I found out that this man was embezzling money from us for years. I found people that left making YouTube videos on it, saying what he was doing, how he had all this. They found this van of all his stuff. He had condoms in his bag. He took them to clubs. He took our tithes money to take his kids to Disney World and had all this shit, just all this shit. His ex-wife posted a video talking about how he would have bags of our tithes money just in garbage bags in their garage and would tell her, just go grab one of those, go get an envelope to use it to go shopping or some shit like that. He was using our money for himself. How he's driving around with nice ass cars and nice shoes and Gucci and all this shit, but we're all broke. Does that make any sense? Oh, because he's sent by God. Because he's sent by God, he's allowed to just flaunt around with name brand shit with our money that we're struggling to get. We're struggling to feed our own kids, but he can walk around with Gucci and Versace, and y'all think that it's okay. It's just, what? I found those things out. I found out what he did, what he was doing. You guys can find out that shit too, but I found out too much at that moment that they can never pull me back. But it still took me a long time to like, I think it took me like 3 years ago to like really like say, okay, I'm okay. Cause it took me like 4 or 5 years to question if I even believed in God, to question if I believed in heaven or hell. It took me a long time. And now I am better than ever. I'm amazing. And I want to tell you guys where I'm at now. Everyone's perception of things, everyone's beliefs is a programming. Whatever you believe and however you're perceiving things is your programming. It's how you were raised, where you were raised, what we were taught while you were being raised. Your parents, what your parents taught you, what your teachers taught you, your environment. It even started with you being in the womb. It even started with your ancestral DNA. What you saw, what you heard, and what you were taught is your programming. That is what developed your brain. That is how you perceive and see things. So if someone raised up a child, a human being, to be a dog, I mean, they were taught their whole life, you are a dog. He is going to act and believe as if he was a dog. Do you feel me on that? Okay. That is what I believe. So I believe there is no one that is wrong or right. It is all built by their programming. You cannot point the finger at someone and say, you're wrong and I'm right. Because someone programmed you. Someone programmed him. Someone programmed us. And that doesn't mean that they're, just because your parents are your parents, doesn't mean what they taught you was correct. Your parents is just regular human beings like you and I. It doesn't mean it's the end all do all. Just because you were raised by a book, just because this book raised you, and just because society and the government and everyone told you that the Bible is the end all do all, does not mean it is true. It is what you perceive to be to believe and to think is real and true, because that's what you were taught. That was presented to you. They could have said, the whole world, when you were born into it, could have said, we have to believe in Satan and this and that, and you would believe it. So the same way you believe that the Bible is the end all do all, I'm pretty sure that other people, like other religious beliefs, thinks their books is the end all do all. They were raised atheist. They were raised racist. No, I don't believe any soul is born with racism. You are raised, the way you're raised is who you are. Until you change it, it's up to you. But everything that we have within us is all we need, really. We're all connected. We literally are made of the same particles that the universe is made up of. So you ask what I believe now. I don't believe you should ever point the finger at anyone. I believe all walks of life is for a reason. Whether you're a bum on the street, whether you're a fucking asshole, whether you murder people, I just believe everyone is meant here for a purpose, good or bad, and it's not up to you to judge. and everything is orchestrating and for a reason, and just, you cannot point the finger at people. You cannot point the finger at people. You can't say you're wrong and I'm right. You can't do that. I believe we're all supposed to live our life with what's in our heart, and if someone else is doing something or believes in something different, you pray for them, but you still show them love and move on with life. Just be kind to people. Just be kind. We all have different perceptions, everyone. That's our problem now, that no one thinks that we can coincide with different beliefs. We can, just respect it. Right now in my day in life, my entire family does not talk to me. The ones that are in the church, and they think I'm evil. You guys can continue to think I'm evil. I have not done anything to you though, and I would love you forever. I would always, always, always love you. I personally would love our family to be together and happy together. There's so many things I would love to do for them and with them. But if you feel this way towards me, I don't even want it in my life. I'm good. I don't want that type. If you can't love me unconditionally and love me the way I'm supposed to be loved, and how I deserve to be loved, how I perceive love to be for me and for my soul, I don't want it anyway. So that is it for everything. Please comment, please ask questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, loves. Okay, guys, so I was editing the video, and I'm literally about to post it tonight, and I wanted to say a few things. I wanted to put a disclaimer. There is a lot of things I said in the video about the church or what we were doing in the church or whatever the case may be that may be off. And this really goes to like my family members that probably want to start saying stuff or whatever. I'm apologizing in advance if I was off with a little bit of things. I really don't mind if you correct me on them or whatever, because there's a lot of things I don't really remember. And another thing is that I wanted everyone to know that me being in the church and me growing up was not all bad. I want you guys to know that. I actually had an amazing childhood. I always give credit where it's due. I love my parents. My parents loved me growing up, I believe, and I did love growing up in that church, to be honest. There was a lot of things that I loved about being in that church and things like that. I can do a part 2. I'm already going to do a part 2 because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't mention when I was editing the video. But another thing is I want to do another video. It's just like, it might be a whole series because this whole thing is huge. It's big. It's a big thing of my life right now in this day and age. It's a huge part of my life. It's huge all over the world. Like, cults are big, and not a lot of people. I'm happy that cults are being a lot more known, but not a lot of people find themselves in a cult, and not a lot of people meet someone that was in a cult. So it might be a whole series about this. But I did want to say that it wasn't all bad. Like, I'm gonna put a video up on the pros, just like it's a pro and con to everything. The only thing I didn't agree about was that he manipulated us and used us for pawns. Whether he wanted to use the little girls, whether he used us for our money, whether he used us to give himself clout and make himself feel better because he's a narcissist. All narcissists form cults. Not all narcissists. Most cult leaders are narcissists. That's what I meant. He just liked all the attention. It's a whole bunch of reasons why someone would create a cult. And that is the part of it what I don't agree on, and also how my family decided to treat me, which is shun me and not give me love as their daughter or sibling. That's about it. So thank you so much for watching. Bye. Okay, give me a pep talk.
I think you should call them because It's a chance. Like, what are they gonna do to you?
Nothing, right? All right, so I'm about to call my mom and just kind of give you guys a dynamic on where I'm at with my family. I wanted to just straight call my dad because I feel like it's more of a chance for him to pick up than my mom. And I feel like with my mom, she won't pick up. But we're gonna see. So, but I feel like I put my mom under my mother. Oh, okay, I did. So right here says my mother. I'm so nervous. Okay, let's call. Ready? Y'all ready? I'm just gonna have to call my dad, talk to my dad. Hold on, I need a second. I should have got a drink. Let me pretend this is wine. I need another sip of wine. I know she wasn't gonna pick up. All right, let's call one more time.
Mommy, can I look in there? What's in there?
The only thing is in there is what you see out there outside of the box. And if you don't see it, then someone took it and I need to put it back. Okay, let's call again. All right, we're calling again.
Please leave your message for
Marisol Jean.
You heard? It says Marisol Jean. My mom is Marisol. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna text. Should I just text?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to the messages. Okay, this is my mom's messages. So the last time we talked was Tuesday. Can you stop? I'm literally doing a video. The last time we talked was Tuesday, July 16th. It is now January.
January 2nd. 1st. 2nd. December.
That was 6 months ago. I haven't talked to my mom. Or my mom hasn't talked to me.
Still 7 months.
Because I was the last one that texted anything. I said, can I take you tomorrow? Because she needed me to take her to a doctor's appointment. Oh, I canceled it until next week because if don't tell, because if I don't tell them today, I might be charged, but thanks. And I said, oh man, okay. That was the last conversation. But let me, what should I text them now? Hello, I was wondering
if I can speak to Daddy, please.
I'm gonna say, I was wondering how were you guys?
And if I can speak to Daddy.
And how's Daddy? And if I can speak to him. I think I'm just gonna put, I was wondering how are you guys and how is Daddy? And then if she replies, I'll say, can I speak to him? All right, it's sent.
Let's see if you're read.
What does RCS mean? Because I'm like literally that nervous. But like, I'm not nervous because I actually would love to go to therapy to get into the core on why this types of things make me nervous. Because like, I'm an adult. Like, why am I still getting nervous over my parents, you know? Is it weird to see me nervous about my parents? Why?
Because you hasn't talked to them for 5 years.
Well, so this whole year we talked because I came back in their life because I wrote a letter to the church to get their approval to talk to me when I honestly didn't even have to do that. I'll show you guys the letter in the video. And then we talked all this year, and then I'll show you a message that my sister sent me that made all of them stop talking to me. And this was all the way back in July. What do you guys in a short summary, what do you guys think of it, and how do you guys view me as a mom after knowing what I've been through? Or what message would you like to say to me towards my family?
I think that your family is just trying to do the right thing, but they don't like open their eyes to try to see if it's the wrong thing.
Is there a message you want to say to my family?
That I want to say that I love you guys a lot, and I don't want that church to go through us and between us.
You can't hear me, right?
Oh, you can't hear me. You gotta put me on mute.
Huh?
You gotta put me on mute.
Oh, so you can hear me?
So I can't hear you.
Can you hear me though?
She's on FaceTime with my son's tablet, and she gave me my dad's number. So, okay, my mom texts back, right? So this is my mom texting back, and she says, hello, we are all fine, praise God. No, I said, hello, I was wondering how were you guys and how's daddy? And she said, hello, we're all fine, praise God Almighty, how's the kids? And I said, praise God, they're doing amazing. Would I be able to speak to dad? And she said, you can call him, I'm not home. And then I said, okay, I don't have his number. And this was around 1:30 in the afternoon. It's now 2:50. So it was almost an hour ago. Over an hour ago. So now my sister, she's on FaceTime with me. She wants to hear the conversation. She's so nervous. And she sent me my dad's number, but it might not be his number, so we're gonna check. But if it is, well, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna call. Okay.
Hello?
Daddy?
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, this is Chief's mom out there.
This is Sephra. I was calling to see how you were doing.
Oh, Seth, what's up, sis? What's going on?
Nothing much.
Hey,
Yeah,
what's going on? How's the kids?
they're doing good.
Okay, I didn't hear from you for a while. What's happening?
I know, you guys haven't talked to me in 6 months. I was wondering what happened.
Oh, okay. I thought you wasn't. How I heard it is you don't want to talk to family no more and all that. I was like, okay, cool. No problem. I didn't know it was the other way around.
No, Malaysia sent me a message saying that I was speaking against the church. And I'm not sure how I was. And then,
What was going on?
huh?
What was going on? Did you say anything that was against the truth? Like, what was your conversation like?
Nothing. I was just saying how he molested when she was 17, and she said that I spoke against the church.
Who molested you when you were 17?
The Holy God sent comforter.
He molested you? Oh man, I'll be there, crap. Why does this still happen to me? Your sister's pathetic lie, you know that, right?
Well, no, actually, I know it happened. I was there.
You see it with your own two eyes?
Yeah, I was texting his phone. And then right after I was texting him and she sent him like pictures of her private parts, I called him.
And what happened?
I called him to tell him that I wasn't a virgin because he told me to tell you guys. And then he told me to tell you guys. That's when I told you guys.
He told us. He told you to tell me?
Yeah, he told me to tell you guys that I wasn't a virgin. So, like, I called his phone number when she sent him those pictures of her. She was naked. So I knew it was his number. And I thought I tried to tell you guys years ago, but you guys never said anything.
You heard his voice?
Yeah. This was when he was talking like months in her room, saying that he was studying with her.
When I was sick?
I mean, yeah, I guess you were always sick.
Oh, yeah, I was always sick. Okay.
But I wasn't speaking against anything. I was literally just saying what happened. And then she said that I was speaking against it. And I'm like, I was just saying what happened.
Okay, so that's what y'all's conversation was about?
Yeah, she was just like, I can't talk to you no more because you speaking against the church.
I mean, wasn't that old stuff? I thought you said this truth is not the truth or whatever. We're talking about the truth. We're not talking about a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's what I'm actually trying to say. So, like, where is it that I'm speaking against the church or the truth?
I don't know. Some people is lying about that. Maybe she just don't want to hear about that situation. We're talking about the truth. That's what I'm saying. If you talk about this church.
But I wasn't even talking to her directly. I was just talking like in general.
You were speaking about the manager or you were speaking about the church in general? There's a difference.
The man. I didn't say anything about the church.
Oh, okay.
And I never really did.
Because she was saying, the way she knocked it to me is you were speaking against the church. That's how she said, I don't know what transpired.
And then she told you guys that I didn't want to speak to you guys?
No, she told me you were speaking against the church. I was like, she was again. I was like, all right, no problem. I left it like that. You feel what I'm saying? But, all right then. So, give us a call tonight. Me and your mother go three-way and find out what's going on with you. How's the kids?
Yeah, they're fine.
They're good. Okay, all right. So what's been going on?
Nothing much. I'm just working.
Okay, that's cool. Norma came the other day.
I mean, yeah, she was visiting Victor, but I didn't really see her much.
Oh, okay. All right then. So that's it.
But I texted you like a couple of years ago about the situation. I texted you, Mommy, and Titi, but no one ever replied to me.
Oh, I must have been sick. Back then I was really drugged out. Because you know I take a lot of medicine. And this is when I first started taking the medicine, you know what I'm saying? So I was really gone. I don't know what was yesterday, today, or tomorrow. I'm still like, I don't forget these things. There's a lot of stuff I'm taking. So did you talk to your mother about the situation back then?
I talked to you.
This the deal how your mother needs it. There's a lot of stuff people talk about the comfort. A lot of stuff. We can't wean to every single weaning thing. So if it's not something I've seen or heard with my own 2 ears, see with my own 2 eyes, I can't be a witness to that. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all witness to it. If y'all would have went to the law court a law, the witness would have had to come out. You understand what I'm saying? If you seen him looking at her like that with your own 2 eyes, that's one thing. Or hear 1, 2 eyes, that's one thing. Anybody can have the phone, anything but a transpire. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The man I know personally won't never do that. That's the man I know personally. Because he's always busy. And he hardly ever answers his phone. So I'm not saying...
Well, he was talking to me for months.
Well, this is the situation what I'm trying to tell you. A man is one thing, the truth is another. I'm not in the truth for a man. You understand?
Okay, I'm just saying that...
There was many... listen what I'm saying. There was many men that was over many things. I've been in truth for a long time. We had countless leaders. You understand what I'm saying? So I've seen it all. I'm not in the truth for that. Y'all went through a situation. Y'all should have called the cops.
Well, it's not like that when you're a child.
Well, of course it's like
I mean,
that.
she's 17 years old and she's believing that he's sent by God. So I'm pretty sure she didn't think to call the cops. She thought that he was going to marry her or something.
What did she tell you about it? Do you know Bill Cosby just went to jail for what he did since 1965? Oh, Donald Trump on charges for what he did 40 years ago. Y'all got an age, y'all 20, 30 years old. If you think bring the guy to charge, you had experience. Why do I have to hear all that?
Well, I don't think it's about those things. It's just you guys have his pictures all over the house as if he's God sent, but he's molesting girls.
But this is what I'm trying to say, Stephen. Before you make accusation, right?
I'm not making an accusation.
Listen, you say, this is what I'm saying, sir. Get this relaxed. I'm just saying this just to get carried. You have the picture in his house like you have him like God. That's what you said, right?
No, I said you guys have pictures all over your house of him like he was sent by God.
Okay.
But he's...
What you said. Listen, you said what you said. Do you understand what you said? Okay. Now you're referring to what? That he's not God-like or God did not send him. That's what you're saying, right? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that you said that you don't look up to him, you look up to God, but you guys glorify him all over your house.
I said I'm in the church. I'm not in the church for men. Because what you understand is, if I would see him with my own two eyes doing something with my own two eyes and see my own two ears, that wouldn't change my faith.
So you would still believe that he was sent by God if you seen that he...
Let me ask you a question. Like I said before, everything in the world works with proof. Everything. You can't bring people in charges. If that's the case, sister, everybody go to jail then.
But that's not what I'm saying, though. It's not about everyone. It's someone claiming to be sent by God.
You see, that's why you don't understand. It's going back and forth with you. Then I understand why Malaysian talking to you like that.
Okay, but it's not about Malaysia not talking to me. It's about...
The conversation. Don't call me no more.
Exactly.
Conversation. Don't call me no more.